All right, testing. Testing. Okay. Okay, if you're here, just hang on a second. Still getting everything started. Just waiting for people to join the room, and then we'll start. We are starting, actually. We're starting on time today. What a change, huh? So, yeah, so last week was a technology disaster. Um, I actually did not record the, I actually did not have a chance to record the Belial session properly because I clicked on the wrong microphone um, in Audacity. I need to uninstall some drivers. It's like getting really confusing. But so I have to like download last week's live stream and then edit it on Audacity. So yeah, so this week, things are a little bit better. Um, Let me get some coffee. How's my coffee doing? Okay. All right. Hang on a second. If you're in the chat, please say hi so I know you're here and you can hear me. So the good thing about this new room is I got my coffee maker like right inside my room. If you're not doing it now, you don't know what you're missing. It's a big improvement in the quality of life to have a coffee maker inside the room. So like I can get hot water, I can make coffee, obviously, I can make tea. I can actually do some light cooking. Obviously, I can make instant noodles. I can make eggs. Although it took like 45 minutes to an hour to make an egg in the coffee maker. But hey, I don't have to stand up. I don't have to go anywhere. So, like in my new place, the kitchen is like very far away, and I have to go down the stairs to get to the kitchen. So, having a coffee maker in my room is a lifesaver. Hey, Sandip, how are you, my friend? How's life? Oh, Sandip, have I worked with you before in real life? Oh, I have to start on Instagram too. All right. Last week, I just completely forgotten about Instagram. Like, things are like so busy and like crazy with the technology. I completely forgot about Instagram. All right. So, the thing with Instagram is my mic is not connected to it and the voice quality is very bad. So, but it's good to show that people, my Instagram friends, that I'm online, and then when I see them there, I wave them over to YouTube. So that's the plan. So one day I will get all this technology figured out, and I can like do this Instagram and TikTok or whatever are the stream. I can get it all together in one voice, and then I can have all the chat screen in front of me, and then we can do proper chats. But until then, hey, like I always say, pioneers never have the best tools. Anything that is real and imperfect is still better than anything that is perfect but not real, right? So one of my professors, back when I was in my undergrad, she said, perfectionism is a death of creativity, which is very true because, and I made this mistakes many times. Like I try to be perfect, but then the need to be perfection actually ended up being the showstopper. So yeah, so that's my excuse for being imperfect. But I'm out here and I'm talking to you, so that's better than me trying to be perfect and not having this produced, So Sandip said, I'm good, and how are you? I'm doing fine, my friend. Sandip, have we worked together before? Let me get my Instagram started. Live. Sandalphon. Archangel of Money. All right. So I would say, um, I think it is like more of a gentlemanly vocabulary to say Sandalphon is the archangel of prosperity or abundance or creativity. But in this day of like um, search engine optimization and and instant drama kind of headings, I'm just going to change it to Archangel of Money. Hey, Jason, how are you, man? On Instagram. Come on over to YouTube. The sound quality is much better, my friend. Hey, Dexy Wilmer, how are you? I brought a sandalwood candle today. Oh, nice. Hey, Dexy Wilmer, have we worked with um have I worked with Sandalphone with you before? Hey, Danny, how are you? Danny said, good morning. So, Danny, have you worked with Archangel Sandalphone before? I think you're gonna like him with the business that you're doing or any kind of business endeavor at all. Dexter Women said, I'm good. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Danny said, I have not yet. Well, this is a good introduction. And I'm not telling you what to do, but, it's good to look into that. Dixie Wilmer said, I haven't worked specifically with Archangel Sandalphon before. Okay. Maybe you have, I just haven't told you. So for all Western ceremonial magic, the you the formal ritual have Archangel opening the portal. So if we have worked on anything with like money before, then I've probably employed Archangel Sandalphon to participate as part of that ritual. Just that I haven't been very specific about it before. Danny said, I'm excited to learn more. I've been learning to work with various spirits. As my current spirits want me to reach out, yes. So, Archangel Sandalphon, uh, if you know me before, if you know me well, would know that I cannot stop talking about him. He is my financial patron. And ever since the beginning, ever since I started, Sandalphon has been with me, guiding my business. And Jason said, "Hello, finally back after so long." Hello, Jason. You're from Singapore, right? How's everything going over there? It's getting pretty late over there. Huh? Yeah, today we're working with Archangel Sandalphon. We just call him the Angel of Money. Okay, so he is Venetian, as in from Venus or the protectorate of Venus. But these days he's more of a Archangel of Earth. Although, like Earth is not one of the planets in astrology or in any of the system, and technically, he is more like the archangel of creativity, the archangel of a bit of a divine femininity. Even though, in my experience, he has been male to me and to other Western ceremonial magician. He has been a mail to me, or to them, and so okay. So Sandalphon is an ascended human, according to folklore, and as much as I talked to him, even though he said he is, but like the human that he ascended from is also like a folktale. So he is technically um, Elijah from the Old Testament ascended into angel form. In the Bible, it just said Elijah, after living for 300 years, he just walked with the Lord. That's what it was said in the Bible. Um, so you may think 300-year-old man, he's an old man, right? No, 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 technically not. Remember, at the time of the early days of the Bible, human lives to be like 1,000 years old. So he's technically a young man at 300. Um, Jason said, things are good, I guess. Haha, I'm searching for my new job though. Oh, perfect. You're at the right place, working with Sandalphon. Dexy Wimmer said, I'll be back in a bit, but I will rewatch the part I missed and I will attend the rest of the live stream. Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Um, so if anybody have any questions, feel free to jump in, and Instagram too. So, okay, let me just read out my notes, right? So Sandalphon derives from Greek, roughly meaning co-brother or related to brother. He's the spiritual twin brother of Metatron. Both are unique, as archangels were once human. Sandalphon often identified as Prophet Elijah, who ascended in the chariot of fire. So Sandalphon was not mentioned. The name Sandalphon was not mentioned in canonical Bible, but he has been appeared in a lot of lores, mostly from Kabbalah lores, which is, I say, like in the Middle Dark Ages, like from 500-ish to 800-ish AD. Um, in folklore, he will appear to be extremely tall, head reaching the heavens and feet on earth, emphasizing his role as a colossal intermediary, sometimes linked to Opharam, which is like a kind of celestial body, like an angel, but not an angel. That is like a giant wheel in the sky. So in my experience, as I met Sandalphon, he is about an angel height, right? He is the height of. He's not as tall as a war angel, but he is like in human terms, he's about like 7 feet tall ish. Last week I talked about like a scale. Michael will be like 8 to 9 feet tall. He is like a war angel. Um, Samael is about 8 feet tall, even though he's a seraphim, but he's like extremely agile and he's like the best fighter in the astral realm. In comparison, Belial would be about 10 feet tall, which is huge. Um, Archangel Barachio, which is another huge angel, would be about 10 feet tall. So like that's the scale. Um, Female angel like Hanayao is about 5'7" to 6 feet tall, around my height. Um, so going to core identity in Western ceremonial magic, Archangel of Malkuth, Malkuth. So it says here it's a 10th century. He governs the material world, earth elements, and the transition between earthly realm and higher spheres. In the Golden Dawn tradition, he is associated with a black pillar, and he is a key gatekeeper. Sandalphon rules the lowest sphere, representing the physical universe. In his divine feminine presence and the point where divinity energy manifests in matter, he acts as the guardian of the gate. Aspirant of the tree must walk through or gain permission from him to ascend. So I'm not a big fan of Tree of Life. Some people love it. Some people walk through it. Some people do it as the everyday ritual. Um, but here are some references to it, I guess. Um, so I'm just going to keep talking, and if anybody have any questions about Sandalphon or anything about black magic or occultism or hypnosis, I'm going to get into it. So in the later parts of this live stream, I'm going to do a live hypnosis session using my training as a certified clinical hypnotist. Um, I can give you my credentials, which is like a size of a telephone book, but we're not going to do that. This is not what we are for. But like I'm just telling you that I've been a hypnotist for the last 20 years, and if you're listening this for the first time, the point is to I won't say substitute, but like in a way work around the rituals. You know, rituals in many ways is to put yourself in an outer state of mind so you can connect with the spirits. And opening portal, which is also shifting your state of mind in order to connect with the spirit and do soul traveling and astral traveling. Um, and since we, as scientists, we know a lot more about the outer state of mind than people from the ancient world. So we can just use hypnosis to direct ourselves in the outer state of mind where we're going to meet Sandalphon and we're going to receive his blessings from astral space. And then we're going to carry on with this new money energy we can walk away from. Oh, another thing about Sandalphon. You see, the thing is, I know this is kind of like a choppy lecture. Um, because I just assume you know a lot about Sandalphon. Because at some point, for the people who work with me, I have been non-stop telling you about Sandalphon. So I'm like saying things, and then I'm remembering of things that I've said before, and then I'm confused if I've already said it or not. But one thing about Sandalphon is he is a patron of music, even though I'm personally not a musician. So if you are a musician, if you've done a lot about music, um, or if you are into poetry or high arts, Sandalphon would be a great patron also for your creative endeavor or your creative enterprise. And remember, creativity is just not just you being a genius locked in your own room, right? Creativity is a career. Um, you have to go out and you have to meet, patrons, people who pay you. If you're a poet, you have to publish, you have to go to poetry readings, and you have to feed yourself, right? Like if you write a great song and nobody hears it, did you write it here? Did you write did you write a great song? Oh, hi FGFG, hi Dejana. Danny Jesus said you have mentioned him quite a bit. I have not worked with many angels before much. Okay. Thanks for keeping an open mind. Dejana said, hi Sandalphon and Dion. Please Sandalphon tell me what you think about me and I need to be better. Yes, stay tuned for the hypnosis session and you can hear directly from Sandalphon. FGFG said, hi Dion. Hi FGFG. Danny said, you're right about creativity and being beyond something like painting. It's always thinking outside the conventional. Yes. And for creativity, I would consider myself a creative person. For creativity, there's no like limit, right? Like we like to pigeonhole people as like one category of artists. Like you're a painter, you are a painter. If you're a musician, you're a musician. Like, but creativity stretches across the board. And creativity is not just like writing beautiful poetry, right? Like you need creativity in business, you need creativity in solving problems. You need creativity in combining different things is also creativity, right? And okay, yeah, good point too. Like when I think about it, like Sandalphon often give me like creative ideas to pursue um, more goals. Um, Another note about Sandalphon is he is the guardian of Earth. So yes, I do feel like a very earthy nature kind of tone from Sandalphon. I'm just going to go through like what is generally being written about Sandalphon, and then I'm going to go into my personal experiences with him and some of my clients' experiences with him. Um, so he's like an earth angel. So like if you are doing anything nature bound, or if you take good care of the environments, then you'll be in the same vibe with him. Um, Manifestation and grounding. He is a bridge to spiritual. He's a bridge of spiritual energy into the physical reality, useful for spell work, talisman, and making abstract and goals concrete. Um, he's a teacher of soul lessons, inspiration for artists and inventors, balance of physical and divine, um, and sometimes linked to mercy and the specific gender and incarnation matters in the border lore. Magical correspondence. He's an earth element primary, which sometimes links to um, the well. Okay, it says here his color is red, but like I feel like his color is more like brownish or like bluish. Um, all right, so let's just get into like my experience with Sandalphon since most of you are here. So I've been working with him since like 2017 ish. He was introduced to me by Archangel Samael. Um, in I've been reading that Samael and Sandalphon were locked into like a battle of good and evil, um, which is kind of like false. They are very good friends. When you evoke Sandalphon, you're gonna evoke Samael and vice versa. The story I've been told by both of these angels is when Sandalphon was an angel and he wants to become an archangel, which is promotion by merit. The gods that he serves said to him that you are a good angel. You have done a lot of good deed, and you're wise beyond your astral age. Hey, Katrina on Instagram, come on to YouTube with better sound quality here. Um, what was I thinking? Oh yeah, so they're kind of in the same frequency. So like if you summon one of them, the other one will be watching. Oh, by the way, when you go into astral space, when you have your astral sense, or when you do a ritual, a summoning ritual, if you do it properly and with good intention, or even bad intention, if you do a summoning, you're not just summoning one spirit, even though that's your intention. And that's what the book said. When you do a summoning, the entire astral space is watching you. You're kind of like opening a window. If you open a window, you just don't look out, right? The entire street is like looking back at you. So, so it's like a helpful hint. Don't think you are summoning one spirit, and then and what is said between you and that spirit stay between you and that spirit. Like when you talk to one spirit, the entire astral space is listening. And your reputation with one spirit is also your reputation with the entire astral space. So keep that in mind when you summon spirits, right? Um, oh yeah, so the story between Samael and Sandalphon is it's not that they're fighting, but like God said to Sandalphon is if you want to be an archangel, which is a type of spirit that is closer to the source, and you have direct access to the source energy, which enable them to become, a much better spirit to help others. Uh, he said, "Yes, you can do it, but by merit, you have to beat my best seraphim, which is." And then God sent Samael to compete with Sandalphon, and thinking Sandalphon would not be able to beat the left hand of God. Um, and through a series of competition, um, Sandalphon actually beat Samael through his cunning and his wit and his closer connections to all life forms. And then, and at the end, God said to Sandalphon, He said, "Okay, you won this competition, and now you're one of my archangels." And since then, Sandalphon and Samael became good friends. Um, all right. Dexy Wimmer said, "Is Sandalphon different compared to working with other spirits? Like those offerings that differ?" Good question. So Sandalphon, to me, he's like a kind of like a stylish old man. I don't want to like old man as in like somebody, like the energy I got is like how some 50-year-old or 60-year-old, he's like, he dressed well, he drive a Porsche, um, he's very nice, and that hippie in style, that kind of old man. You get what I'm saying? That's the energy that he gives you. Okay, so like a story to illustrate the kind of old man, but like not actually Sandalphon. It could be Sandalphon. Get to think about it. So this is like before I started becoming ceremonial magic. This time, me and my girlfriend went on a vacation in Cape Cod, in Massachusetts. If you haven't been to, for those of you who don't know New England or you don't know the U.S., like Cape Cod is like one of the place where I guess like upper middle class will visit during the summer. There's a lot of beaches there. And back then, I don't have a lot of money, and I'm punching way like higher than my weight. I guess like that's the term, right? So like I spent every last penny to go to Cape Cod with my girlfriend. Like she's very nice. Like she doesn't care about how much money I spend, but like I want to take her somewhere nice, right? But one day when we were buying some groceries, we were going to go back to our hotel room, and then we got to cook something there. It's not like a lot of groceries, like probably like $20 worth of chickens and stuff like that. And there's this old man in front of us. He's about like, I guess like 70 years old. He's still like youngish looking. He dressed well. And then like we were just checking out at the grocery store, and then he picked up our grocery and paid for our bills. And I was like, wow, that's very nice of you. We don't really know what to say, right? He just, "Oh, yeah, you're welcome," and then he walks off, right? And then off he go. We saw him driving off in a Porsche, like Boxer or something. So like that's the kind of old man that maybe that was Sandalphon in human form. Just that I haven't met him yet. Um, yeah, so that's the kind of old man you're going to meet with a Sandalphon. Like not like a creepy old man, but like a cool kind of old guy driving a Porsche. Um, so to answer your question, like he's like kind of different from other angels, as in he's not boring. Um, he actually enjoys the niceties of Earth, whereas if you talk to like a celestial angel like Raziel or Barakiel or even like Michael that are like heaven born, that haven't really like flesh and blood enjoyed humanity before, they were like very square, like very formulaic. This is what you do. They don't understand pain. Uh, they only understand like hard work and things like that. But like Sandalphon is more like a more humanity in him. Um, and offerings, yeah. So go back to offerings, right? Like I would sometimes I'll offer him fashion. There was a point in my life when I was um, selling clothes on eBay. Like I would go to like a discount store, like a TJ Maxx. I would buy like a golf shirt or something for $5, and the MSRP price is like $100, and I would sell them for like $30 on eBay or something. So I have a lot of excess fashion item like ties and things, and would have offer them to Sandalphon. I would offer him like sunglasses I would buy in like a shack, and and even colognes and things like that. So yeah, so he's actually fun to work with and offer with. Dion, would you like to explain to me what it means? What means dreams in which I saw sun with a face? Who is that entity? That's very general. It's hard to say. There are so many solar entities, right? Like, what else could you tell us about that dream? Um, Danny said it's like picking someone from a cloud, right? Okay. So I'm losing context here. Maybe you can tell me more about what you mean. Uh, Dixie Wimmer said, I heard that angels generally don't want to help in worldly, mundane affairs, but I may be mistaken. No, that's not true. Like, there are different levels of angels, but angels are very adept into working in the mundane affairs. Like, for you to be alive and in your positions, there are like a village of angels and spirits that have been protecting you and putting you in this place right now. So there are a lot of very mundane things that they're helping you. From your heart is still beating to showing up on classes or your work on time and no accidents. Like you look around you, right? There are so many misfortune and accidents and crazy shit happening all the time, right? And just to prove yourself being here in an affluent country on the internet and having fun and not starving, you have water to drink, clean water to drink. That means there's already a lot of angels already around you helping you. So they actually do very good job in worldly and mundane affairs. It's just that a lot of those you cannot change, and depends on like what mundane things you want to ask for, right? Oh, I'm drinking on the wrong side of the cup. So like a love spell would be like a mundane kind of thing, right? Like if you are really trying to twist um, mundane things for like a very lowly desire, then they will kind of ignore you. You get what I'm saying? Of course, the higher your aspirations, the higher orbits of spirit you're going to attract. Dejana said, Sandalphon, you know everything about me. I asked you respectfully to visit me some dream. I would like to meet you. So this is your will. I respect your will. Is this a yes or no? Of course, Sandalphon is going to say hi to you if you have the right intention. So going back to your solar dream, right? So like there were some interpretation that Sandalphon is a solar spirit. So it could be him previewing his meeting with you. Dixie said, I think I met Asmodee once in human form. Okay, tell me about it. Tell us about it. I'm sure we want to hear your story. Danny said, what do you do once those offerings? Oh, okay. So like you mean like a large pile of crap piling up in your room? Well, I was selling shit on eBay, right? So like I will offer them, and then they would take the energy, and then at some point, it would be sold, and then I ship them off. Um, and I've been told that once item change hands, then the astral energy will revert. It's kind of like those monkey hands. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those wishing monkey hands. I think it was in the movie. Like like a monkey palm you buy in like a Moroccan bazaar, and then you make a wish, and then one of the finger will go down, And then as far as the story goes, once you sold that monkey hand to another person, the five fingers is going to go back up again. So like it's kind of like a folklore way of saying that once an item changes owner, the astral energy will recharge. But yeah, so if food at some point, well, obviously, if it is like your lunch or something, after a day or two, just throw it out or you eat it. Or if there are like other items that if something that's been on the altar for a while, it is just kind of stale, and you can throw it away. Unless it is something like that is highly valuable, right? Like gold or diamonds or whatnot, or your cars or something. Then he said the crowd comment was in relationship to you saying summoning does not just call on one spirit. Okay, let me go. Right. Or they picking you. You get what I'm saying? Like so much of the books and YouTubers are talking about you are in charge. That's a great way of Tony Robbining it, giving you power, but you actually don't have a lot of power. Like you kind of shout it into the air with a name, and whatever spirit likes you, or yeah, they will respond. So it's like a dark alley, and then you open a window, and then you shout, "I need help with this," and then hopefully, if you make good connection with the spirit before you do the summoning, that spirit would say, "Okay, yeah, sure, I'll help you." Or this is more like the difference between witchcraft and black magic. Witchcraft, you're just shouting out into the crowd. So you open the window, shout in the cloud, and say, "I need some help here," and then like a random spirit. I'm not saying random is bad, but it's just like there's so many spirit out there. We barely know anything. It's kind of like species of insects, right? Like you can name an ant, but like if you go to the Amazon, there will be like billions of species that you've ever been seen before. So it's kind of like this is how our interaction with spirit is, right? You yell out and said, I need a spirit of this kind, and then another spirit will walk by. Yeah, okay, I can help you out. And then spirits also are trying to ascend themselves, right? So it is in their interest to help you, and then by helping you, they're also acquiring kind of like an astral energy for them to like go further up. And for you as a human, right, you also do want to do spirit things. So that is also acquiring kind of like a battery and like boosting your energy. At some point, you kind of want to ascend into the next level of your evolution, right? You eventually become some kind of a god. Um, so I may have got like a bit detached off topic here, but like, did I answer your question? Um, so that's a good question because I'm just telling you, this is kind of like what's really going on rather than you waving a wand around, lighting candles and yelling mantras and expect something to happen, right? So I'm just telling you, this is kind of what's going on in the grand scheme of things. Dixie Wimmer said, interesting. I once heard that many angels are like the laws of the universe. Maybe you want to define the terms laws of the universe. Dejana said, dear Archangel Sandalphon, you know that I'm too sensitive person. That is easy to make me cry. Please help me to be stronger when someone wants to hurt me and not want to hurt by anyone hated. Yes. So I hear you, Dejana, and in general, right? For you and for anybody who's listening who's going through the same thing, in a way, the spirit is going to put you in a position to fight for yourself, but you still need to pick yourself up and start fighting. Um, that's the best way to use spirit energy. It's kind of like Joan of Arc, right? Like a perfect fighter kind of saint. God opens like God would opens up opportunities for her to fight, but she still need to put up an armor and fight, right? Like everywhere she goes, the British sort of like flat town or, but that's because the British was going through like a hard time in 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 the nation itself. Well, okay, not to go too deep into the history of it, but like everywhere she goes, she wins battle because God has set it up so she will win, but she still need to put on an armor and fight. Dejana said, "I know Dion, that is the best. Be honest and open heart to Angel, so I'm opening my heart to Sandalphon." Yes. Dexy Women said, "I found a very interesting YouTuber who kind of described the black magic path, but only mentions the Christian side. But he was also given task by God." Yes. That's good. But what is the law of the universe that you talked about? So, okay, so Sandalphon's story, right? So I've told this story many times. Many of you already heard the story, but in the early days, why did I start my store on Etsy, right? So I was at the time, so I already have this YouTube channel, and I was kind of sharing story, and it was kind of like my threshold astral sense. I was doing black magic for a few years, but I'm still stuck just like lighting candles and putting offers. I'm just doing rituals, right? But like I really want my astral sense. Um, so this is kind of the threshold few months when I'm kind of receiving and not receiving messages. I try to talk back to them, and sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. And I was just walking in the mall, right? And this is actually like a relationship story. So there was this girl I really like, but like she's not talking to me, right? Um, so like through a lot, I wrote this in one of my YouTube stories. So through a lot of coincidence and chaos, I ran into her at a mall. She turns out she was working at a cosmetic store. Um, so backtracking, I thought, it was like a lot of chaos caused by my spirit guide, Jeremy. Now, Dexy Wimmer, Jeremy, right? Um, and it's a clear sign that, she put me back together with this girl. And I was like walking in the mall and I was thinking to myself, wow, if only there's a way I can prove that these spirits exist or something like that, or like this is like a proof that the spirit would exist. And January, I remember her very clearly to this day. She said to me, "Yeah, sure, I can give you more proof, but how much proof do you need um, for us to convince you that we are real?" Right? In a way, I was thinking, that's right. I can always ask more proof, and they can always provide me with more proof. But like, at what point does my need for proof? Am I just satisfying this need for proof, right? So in a way, she is telling me to like do more. Now that it's not like mathematical proof, but that is proof enough that they're there doing work for me, right? And then I was thinking, so she said to me, if you want more proof, then go be a professional black magician. I was like, what? And she was like, make sure you charge money, not just giving it away. That way you're going to get like real feedback from real people. I was like, huh, that's interesting, right? So I just walking around at the mall that where I met this girl, like reunited with this girl. And I was just walking around and then it's like, so how do I find clients, right? And then this is when Sandalphon comes in. Sandalphon said to me, just go on Etsy. That's all he said. I was like, what the fuck, Etsy? Like I was selling like some shirts on Etsy before, and I had my video store. Some of you knew what I was doing. I was like, Etsy, like what the hell? No way this is going to work, right? And that's really all he said. Um, so long story short, right? My first Etsy store was a disaster. Nobody buys anything. It was an astrology store. Um, I spent a lot of time designing like a Holarian astrology system for for corporate decision making. And guess how many sales I got after 3 months? I have zero sales. Like I don't even get like any movement from the statistics. And then things got better. And then I started the new store, Occult Experience, thinking that I can just get my YouTube followers to with my YouTube subscribers to my Etsy store, and then zero subscribers buy anything from my store. But then I got lucky. I had some. Well, one thing leads to another. I meet a lot of people, and the rest is history, right? And it was like great timing because like at the time, nobody was doing black magic on Etsy. Like all the Etsy metaphysical services were witchcraft. So like I was sort of like the first one there. I could sort of establish what can be done. Like I become like a template on Etsy on how a quote unquote black magic, a black magician would operate, and 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 I guess like productize it, right? And I was the first one to actually offer contracts and pacts with demons and angels or whatnot. And then since then, everybody just kind of copy my stuff, which is fine. But then, in a way, it's like a win-win situation. Um, I obviously got a lot of benefits from my Etsy store. I made a lot of friends. I made some good money. But at the same time, it's also benefits the spirits that they are getting through me and through people copying my stuff. They are they have a chance to connect with a lot of devotees, new and somebody and people that they have been looking for. If you feel strongly about the spirit, that means they have been trying to summon you on the other side. Maybe you have a pact with them before, or maybe they see your potential and they want to talk to you. Um, so yeah, so like that's like my Sandalphon success story. Um, so let me go through some comments. Dixie Wimmer said, I found a very interesting YouTuber. Okay, I read that already. So Dixie Wimmer said, I heard there's an angel that rules our gravity, the movements of our planets, etc. Yes, I've heard. Yes. So like in medieval grimoires or quote unquote Kabbalah, in the Kabbalah, like there's an angel for everything and there are demons for everything. Like angels are more for celestial bodies and celestial movements, and demons in the old days are not evil. They are just more mundane kind of work, like make sure that the windmill is turning, that kind of thing. Was there windmill in the medieval time, or like watermill? Right, watermill has been around for centuries. Like the watermill is turning, that kind of things. So like yeah, so there's but that's kind of like a paganized form of looking at angels, right? Um, I think I made this point before. So angels and demons and things, they're kind of like natural spirits. Like they were there whether we like them or not, whether we give them a task or not. And pagan spirits are more into like the spirit for this and spirit for that. Like they like Zeus is the angel, is the god of Jupiter, or Mars is a god of war or whatnot, right? So like spirit with a task is more like a pagan world, pagan view of these spirits. So going back to angel that rules gravity, movement of planets, that's more like a paganized version of the angels. Um, Dixie Woman said, in that sense, they guard the laws of the universe. Oh, okay. Okay, so I was just going to say, this is kind of the difference between gods and angels. Gods are the one that decide how fast an object falls to earth, and they kind of like the creator of the laws, and angels are more like the people who make sure the laws still work, that kind of things. Um, so good points. In a way, that's true, but in a way, the angels also couldn't change the physics of the universe. You get what I'm saying? Like if you jump off, well, I won't say if you, right? If you throw a coin off the building, the angel cannot change its trajectory. They can kind of like teach you how to throw it properly so it could, reach the other building, or you can get the maximum juice, maximum distance out of that throw. But like the angels cannot change the physics of the universe. You get what I'm saying? So Dixie Women said, "Yeah, I know this story. I know German." So they're different from Q. I was just watching this Star Trek YouTube video, the tiers of godlike spirits or godlike aliens in the universe, right? Like there are there are entities who can bend kind of like time space, or we through technologies we can like accelerate the certain rules of physics. But like then there's Q, right? So Q would be like the gods, and the other aliens that could like change time space, that could pull the enterprise from one corner of the universe to another. But those they will still need to work in the laws of physics. So I guess I don't know. It's like a weird story. It's a weird segue, but you know what I'm saying, right? Um, Danny said you have to pay attention to the signs and synchronicities for proof. Yes, that's true. Your astral sense would tremendously increase when you notice the synchronicity. Like when you notice the intervention of a spirit, be it angel or demons, they will reward you with more astral sense. Angels, the reason why a lot of people don't like to work with angels is they don't really see the results, but that over time they'll find themselves being in a better quality of life. That's because the angels are very good at hiding their details. They're very good at making you believe that you did the work. It's kind of like a good teacher, right? If a good teacher would empower you to learn a certain subject, right? And at the end of the day, you'll feel that you've learned it by yourself. But the good teacher is there to teach you. I won't say a bad teacher, right? But like an average teacher will make sure that this is my lesson. Um, it's because of me that you got this grade in this exam, blah, blah, blah. But like that would be like an average teacher. I'm not saying that's a bad teacher, but like a very, very high end teacher would just point you in the right direction and make you believe that you've done all the work yourself and you've teach yourself. But that particular teacher have opened the door and put you in a position to learn and inspire you to learn, etc., etc. So I guess like that would be like a difference between angels and quote unquote demons. Uh, Dixie Wilmer said that exact story about Germany is what got you to take magic more seriously. Yes, and more like magic beyond myself, right? Whereas before it's kind of like all about me. Even if aspiration is beyond me, right? I'm still responsible for me building my altar, building my stuff, collecting my evidence. But like it kind of it's like a crossroad, right? All of a sudden, my head is turned around. I have to take care of other people. I have to be non-judgmental. I have to match their energy, stuff like that, and I have to collect evidence the best as possible in a more science, quote unquote, scientific way, because it's not just so a priori versus a posteriori. So like I kind of have to look at what people say to me and kind of like kind of rinse them through what is evidence based and what I can include that on a case study for myself and I guess that for future publishing work and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a turning point with the Germany story and Sandalphon story. And what made me interested in your YouTube channel before your Etsy? Oh, thank you. Have you seen my YouTube video before you contact me on Etsy? Um, Danny said, in my case, I know the spirits are testing me for something bigger due to the onset of major financial obligation that forced me to liquidate my savings and portfolio. Yes. Okay, let me finish reading and then I come back. And then I will comment. Oh, I can't talk today. Okay, take a deep breath. All right, Danny said, in the same instance, I made some amazing connections that potential businesses need, along with the introduction to more financial related spirits. It was as if they wanted me to let go and trust them for bigger wins, anyways. Also, this may be off topic, but in Black Magic group I'm in, we discussed the crypto. A number of people in the group avoided due to its influence on extreme dark and anti-cosmetic magic orders. I mean, that's if you want to do that. Okay, just on the crypto clue path. I can't pronounce that word. Um, you don't have to walk that path. It's kind of like the tree of life. It's kind of like a absolute beginner stuff. It's kind of like if I hand you a bicycle and you're like, where should I go? Okay, here's a map. Go around um, this park. You're gonna see a swing. Um, you know, you're gonna see a fountain right around this park. Nice. So it's a tree of life. It's not so like it feels like it is very like solid and changeable, but tree of life and it's kind of like a collective unconscious kind of thing. And here's some signposts that you can pass through, but you don't have to go that way. You don't have to see that. And it feels a bit like very stuff and stubborn. You get what I'm saying? Like if you go to Tree of Life and if you don't see this particular angel at this point, some people would just give up, right? So if you want to do the whole journey, have fun, but it doesn't. It's not like a something that you have to do. You get what I'm saying? And once you acquired a soul traveling ability, there are so many things you can do than that. There are so many more interesting things you can do than the Tree of Life or the Grip of. But yeah, so if you're into it, no problem. But if you're not into it, there are other things you can do with your time. But then the thing is, if you the expert of Tree of Life or the expert of Clip Love, that's nice. But you are stuck in the first gear of Astral Sense. You get what I'm saying? You are not opening yourself to see things that are not in the book. You're kind of like binded in that world to look for things only in that certain world. That would be my criticism for over focusing on that particular aspect of astral sense. Yes, and to go back to earlier points, right? So Belial once says to me, like and when I started, just like everybody, I want to win the lottery. I want to have all the money in the world. And then Belial said to me in a very like not in a childing way, but like in a very friendly and inquisitive way. It's like, what do you need the money for? And then I said something, and I said, yeah, you could do that with the money you have right now, A. And B, you still have a lot of money. Like, why don't you use that? So, in a way, they're not taking things away. They just want to see you um, maximize the resources you already have. So it's kind of like more than a few times, people will come to me and say, "I need the money to do this, like travel, or I need the money to do that." And a lot of spirits will say to me, "Yeah, but you have the money to do this. Why are you asking?" Right? And I've also heard in my earlier days that the spirit will borrow things from you. So they're just borrowing your money or whatever situation that you're in, then they're borrowing that energy to do something and they're going to bring it back to you. So it's kind of like a kind of cute, like a cute kind of hint that sometimes when in my early days, and you'll find it too, when you work with spirits, you'll sometimes find some of the things missing. Like you remember putting it there, but like you don't see it. Or sometimes your friends would disappear for a few months, and then later, and then later you find that thing, and then it has been there all along. Now the rational side would say, yeah, but you just don't see it, or it has been there all the time. But in a black magic way of looking at it is that the spirit have borrowed that object or that friendship or that dollar amount, and they use that energy in the astral space. And once they are done with it, they give it back to you. So kind of like the money that went out of the bank account. I mean, it sucks at the time, right? But you're still alive. I'm talking to you right now, and you seem to be in good spirit. Excuse the pun. So it sucked for a minute, but then they gave it back to you, right? Plus some more with interest. And it's also, this is why I said black magic is not for everybody, because of the chaos and the uncertainty and the pain that you have to go through for your wish to come true. And also, there are many you cannot stand the truth moment. Like they will show you what you need to do, or they will show you that that person is bad for you, or they would tell you the truth, or that whatever dream and wishes that you want is not for you. And sometimes they will do it gently. I would like to say angel do it gently, but sometimes angel do it very roughly too. Um, and they would just kind of like rip a band-aid off right off of you, right? Or if a friendship is toxic, they they're going to rip it off of you in the most painful way, right? They're gonna show you this bitch has been stabbing you all this time, and you didn't know. And then when you find out, it's like you feel like this is like the end, right? It's so painful. Or they take some things away from you, knowing that it's kind of like a clutch. It's kind of like the third, kind of like a training wheel, right? Um, if you're just riding on a training wheel, you never ride a real bicycle. And it's like one day they just rip the training wheel off your bike while you're still riding, and here you go. But then they know you can take it. It has happened to me many, many times. Uh, okay, so it's also a reminder to me that money is energy and need to flow and not just hoard it. Yes, that's very true. So with any energy, right, it needs to keep flowing. And certain obligations need to be handled to help wealth grow. That is very true. All right. Okay, so a story time, right? So this is like a client from my agent. I don't know if many of you know this. I know FGFG know this, but I actually, for the most random reason, I have agents that represent me in other markets. I was not looking for agents they just came to me and said, um, you know, well, first I did a ritual for them, and they really like it, and they said, I have friends who also want to do a ritual with you. Yeah, yeah, sure, I will do it. And then she'll go, I actually have like 15 friends who also want the same rituals. Uh-huh, right. And then eventually I found out they were actually agents, that they were usually operating from other countries, and they will be buying rituals for, and then they will have like an upcharge on their end. That does not concern me. They pay me in full, and then they will bring their friends, or however way they were able to um, acquire these clients, and then they bring them to me. I'll do the ritual. I'll give them pictures and report, and that would be so. Okay, so this story come to me from an agent. This boy who is like 19 years old in Hong Kong, um, and you know they are trouble when their wish is, I want to win the lottery. Not that I don't want to win the lottery. I want to win the lottery too. But like when somebody comes to you with that wish, that means they're, let's just say, the traditional path to wealth is not in their vision. So um so I did the right thing. I said to him, yeah, sure, I can do a ritual for for lottery, but I can also do rituals for to enhance your career. And I don't know if he's an IT guy or something like that. So yeah, so and I thought I would pick like an angel that is very hard disciplined. And the highest discipline kind of angel, wealth angel, would be like Raziel. I don't know if anybody have worked with Raziel before. Raziel is a very high level spirit that is very knowledge based. And if you want to study, if you want to do very logical work like sciences or computer science or even high finance, Raziel is your man. Uh, but the downside to Raziel is he's so hard charging that you won't have many fun. Like he doesn't understand fun. He understands that solving complex problem, that's the fun. So he's going to like put your head down to your computer and you work your ass off. That's Raziel. And it was between Raziel and Sandalphon, right? Because Sandalphon I have a lot of success with, but it seems like this boy needs some like hard discipline. And then Sandalphon comes in. Yeah, I take care of that, Dion. Um, this boy, I can help this guy. Okay, so like I did the ritual for him for Sandalphon. So eventually it came back to me through many intermediaries. So like one day this guy was like, he was looking for a job, but he wasn't looking for a job hard, and he was like sleeping in and whatnot. And one day he was supposed to go to a job interview, and he totally forgot about it, and he was like sleeping in and whatnot. And out of nowhere, there was a crazy construction noise happening that morning. It was so loud that he couldn't go back to sleep. And there was so much dust that was like flooding his house, and he has to leave the house, right? So it's kind of like Sandalphon just grab his ass and like kick him out the door. Go to your fucking job interview. So like he went to the job interview. Like he wasn't totally ready, but like those guys there, they love him. He was able to just be himself in the interview. Like he wasn't. I guess it overcame his like anxiety to job interviews or not getting a job, right? So he kind of just show up to the job, and then he got the job, and he's working, and after a year or so, I think he's still working and making pretty good money for himself. So like that's a big difference, right? So it's not like he made the wish and then a big ball of money dropped to him. But like Sandalphon was kind enough to get him disciplined through different means to wake him up and do the right thing, and he's in a much better position than he was in before. So FG said, I agree with you, Dion. One of my spirit guide takes toxic relationship from me in a very rough way. Yes, it made me doubt myself. Yes, I think I heard the story. But yeah, so sometimes it when they kind of need to give you tough love. It's kind of like taking um, the gaming console away from you. Like if you're playing Xbox and you're not going to work, sometimes they take a baseball bat and smash your fucking Xbox so you can like stop gaming. Or if you really like this guy or girl, and everybody tells you this is not the right guy or girl for you, and then one day you find them, in bed with somebody else. That moment sucked, and it ends with a bang, and you wonder like, you know, why this is bad luck or whatnot. But you think about it, it's worse luck for you to keep that relationship going and not knowing that your partner is cheating on you, right? So yeah, so like tough love. So any questions or any story anybody wants to share about Sandalphon? There's this gentleman that I'm waiting for to come in, and he had a good Sandalphon story to tell, but he's not here right now. I guess it's because of the time differences. I don't know what time is it's that where he's located, but he's not in the continental United States. All right. So I wait a minute to see if anybody have any questions so far, or a story that they want to share, or like a paranormal story. It doesn't have to be black magic or like an occult story or something interesting that they noticed. Danny said, "It is interesting to me how different spirits that influence the same thing do them differently." Yes, that's very true, Danny. And after a while, you can tell that all these spirits have different personality. So that kind of like if in a deeper dive, you can say that at least through experience, and at some you can kind of measure it too that it goes against that there's only one God kind of monotheistic theology. Like a lot of people would tell you there's only one spirits that do everything. That's kind of like saying there's only one human race. Yeah, that's true. But then there are also many different humans with many different personality doing different things, right? And if you treat human race as one, then you're missing a lot of nuance. It's kind of like treating an entire race of people as one, right? Like I know this is kind of like a potentially politically incorrect territory. It's kind of like treating all Japanese people as one and assuming that they only eat sushi. But many of them actually eat steak, and they do make pretty good steak. They actually eat a lot of coins, and and some Japanese people are very creative. Some Japanese people are very rigid, and you cannot tell me that just pick. You cannot monolithically say there's only one Japan. Yeah, kind of true, but you're missing a lot, right? So like that goes against the idea that there's only one God that does everything. Um, Danny said, like I've said before, Boone is very much terms in terms of connections, networking, and CEO like energy. Yes, that's true. Boone is more as more of a luxury, like a golden luxury vibe to him or her. Maybe we can do a deep dive on Boone next week or something. Okay, the time is 11:29. Okay. Boone, like Danny said, Boone wanted me to explore beyond his influence, though. Yes, that's true. I already connected with him due to my affinity for luxury. Yes. Any other wealth spirits that you are thinking about? I guess like on kind of the frequency of Boone. Have you worked with Chronic before? FG said, good. I want to know more about Boone. Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Boone. I've always heard of his name. Yeah, he or she. To me, she is a she. Um, has a yeah. She helped me a lot in many ways. But it's also like with any wealth spirits, you kind of need to spend a lot of money, spend a lot on the altar. It's kind of like it's not like they're picky, but they're used to like high affluent stuff. It's kind of like how if you go to a university, the business school has the nice best furniture and the nicest building. It's because like it's not like they want to be better, but that's like the baseline of acceptable decor. Like I've been told that how the whales travel in Las Vegas, that they want a penthouse floor to themselves and butler service and 5 bedrooms and a swimming pool in the hotel room. And one of those concierge said, "To us, that's high luxury, but for those people, that's how they usually live, right? That's like their average." So, like, if you want to work with Boone or like Fortuna or Crownick, uh, or even Belial, um, they are used to people offering them like diamonds, rubies, gold. So they welcome all offerings, but you kind of have to meet their minimum. Like their bar is set very high. Let's put it that way. Crown Lake has been calling a bit. Yes, Crown Lake is more down to earth, but Crown Lake is also more chaotic in my experience. Danny said, I've been working through the Verum, but I have not had the correct timing and situation to follow it by the book just yet. Well, the Verum actually have some pretty interesting witchcrafty kind of spells. Like the Verum has some pretty practical like mini spells that you can do. You're gonna like it. So Verum is less summony than Goretia. Like Verum is more down to earth, from what I've read. Like more practical, put it this way. Like Croatia is more like lofty. Um, you like it. That's what I meant. Um, Danny said, for those of you who are wondering what we're talking about, Grammarian Room, you can buy it on Amazon for like $10. It means, I've been told in Latin, it means the true grimoire. Arch Croatia means the arts of summoning spirits. Danny said, but my recent work with Belial has influenced me to find other ways to reach out until I can follow the Verum process. That's true. Like Belial is not in Verum. But hey, you only have so many hours in a day, right? So like focus on one or two. Well, the concept of focusing on one or two spirits is so, like you said, if you work with a new spirit, you don't quite get the synchronicity right. So they may be providing you with opportunities and ideas, but you kind of dismiss them because you don't see them as plausible way of executing, or they're beyond your reach, or you are not calibrated to meet the opportunities they provide. So that will be like a process for you to reach out to a new spirit and one that you have worked with a long time. Um, and the chaos level is different. It's like a different kind of chaos, you know. Then he said, not to let myself get caught up in the rigidness of grimoire to be creative. Grimoires are like suggestions, right? Like all books are written by humans. Of course, anything written in a book seems very rigid. but it's kind of like a starting point. And you kind of have to understand where they're coming from, and also like what they're trying to hide too. Sometimes they will say, "Don't do something," as in like do something, right? It's kind of like people on YouTube. I don't want to get in trouble, but it's kind of like writing a book on how to not do illegal things. But it's kind of like a how to not rob a bank. It's like kind of like I'm telling you not to wear a mask to rob a bank. I'm telling you like robbing bank doesn't work, and this is what I did that did work, but you shouldn't be doing it. Sometimes, especially in medieval time where persecution is so terrifying and in every corner. So like they kind of have to write grimoires in such a way that if somebody pick it up, it is like they have plausible deniability, or the way they talk have plausible deniability. So you kind of have to understand what they mean in their time. So you're right. You don't want to get caught up in the rigidness of the grimoire. Then he also said, also remember they don't have internet back then. Like they don't have the kind of broad knowledge that we know about topics as such. What they write down is what they know in the narrow sphere. And sure they're scholars, but like they don't have access to everything, right? So their rigidness is understand. So you kind of have to understand where they're coming from. Then he said, I've offered boon gemstones, and he's the reason I've been collecting orange garnet. Oh, nice, nice. What other offerings have you made to boon before? Oh. I can't talk to him. Then he said, right, like the Verum said, you need to go through the initial pact before able to use a spell mentioned in the book. Oh, I can't remember. Did Verum said that? So here's a thought that I thought I came up with, but has already been thought of before. I think Aleister Crowley said this before, and Aleister Crowley was a quoting from somebody else. So there are two kinds of pacts. There are magical pacts or induced pact, and then there are natural pacts. Like a induced pact or like a magical pact would be like you summon the spirit and you give them offering and you do the whole ritual, blah blah blah. And then there's natural pact. Like if you work with that spirit a lot, that you're naturally a pact with them. It's kind of like friends, right? Like or like doing contracts in business. Sometimes you do business with a very clear contract, and sometimes it's like a handshake. So you can pact your spirit by just be in a very good relationship with them. They will naturally look out for you because you keep doing what you're doing. It's of a natural interest to them. It's kind of like me and Satan don't have a formal pact, but I have been such a good agent for him. And for example, like doing the pact services on Etsy is one example, right? It is in Satan's interest for me to keep doing what I'm doing, even without that pact, to bring more followers or devotees to him and educating people um, on what Satan wants from them and what to expect and what not to expect, and 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 make sure that his followers are putting the effort into being the best version of themselves and doesn't waste Satan's time. So like I'm doing a lot for him. So it is in Satan's interest to keep me well fed and alive. Right. So that's kind of like a unspoken pact, right? Um, like you and Boone, right? So think of things that you can do in the next level after offering. Offerings are important and worshipful is also important. So maybe think of something that you and Boone or you and Crownick could do together This is like a high end of black magic that they want to do in this world, and in such a way that you become indispensable to them. So okay, so very off topic again. So that would be like a natural pact, rather than like a traditional pact. So that's my counter to your interpretation of Grammarian Room. I think I might have missed that passage. I have to go back and read it. But yeah, so you don't have to have a pact to work with. You don't have to do like a magical pact to work with a spirit. But you still have to work hard. Danny said silver, oranges, and palm quartz. Oh, nice. These are some of my favorites, and also slab of beef. Nice. Wagyu beef or just regular beef? All right, so I wait like 2 minutes to see if there's any questions. If not, we would do the hypnosis part, where I'm going to be focusing on the script and won't be able to answer any questions or read what was said here until it is done. How's Instagram doing? Oh no, I got kicked over from Instagram. All right, let me get back on Instagram. Then he said it was ribeye, nice. Although I've been introduced to a far better cut of steak. It's called rib cap. Have you tried rib cap? Yes. Then he knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think from now on, that's the only cut of beef that I'm going to order. Cap or short ribs is good too. Like everybody want filet mignon. Yeah, that's nice. Rib. I thought the eye is kind of like rough. You got what I'm saying? Even though it's nice and tender, but it's still kind of rough. But yeah, I think rib cap is the better choice of meat. Rib cap or short ribs. I think those are becoming my favorite. Or if done correctly, what do you call it? The belly of the cow. What's the my vocabulary is betraying me. Should I Google that? No, that's not it. Or like corned beef and pastrami's. Those are very nice cut too. Danny said, it was just what I had on hand at the time, though. Nice. Yeah, that's true. Like, you just do the best you can with what you have. Danny said, I have been going beyond what traditional tells me and started making pacts in the way that you have mentioned. Yes. With Paimon, it's my studies and influence as my business. Yes. So going back to like pact, right? Like I know this is like retail magic, but a lot of people jumped to pact to start the journey. So if you want to do this properly, a pact should only be done once you have a lot of experience with that spirit and talk to them a lot and has been immersed in the energy a lot. Pact is kind of like the next level of your friendship, or like a magical pact with that spirit. A lot of people just go in the pact like raw, like never learning the spirit. I mean, it's 2026 and this is how people think. And at first I was a bit resistant to that, but my spirit guide said that's fine. Just bring them to me and then I'll take care of them. But if you want to do a pact right, you want to at least learn everything about that spirit, read everything about them, at least have done some ritual with them or meditate with them. So yeah. So it's not a clear cut between natural pact and magical pact. Jason said, "Thank you for today's session. I need to go now. Hope to catch you next week." Oh, hey, thanks for showing up, Jason. Hope all is well in Singapore. Danny said, "All dedicated in the name and influence." Oh yeah, brisket. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Damn it! Like, oh, my brain is fried. Yeah, brisket is nice. But you have to do it properly. I mean, you specifically, but it needs to be cooked properly, or else it will be very rough. But like if you do a brisket properly, it's as soft, as tender as, or better, or more tender than filet mignon. All right. So one more minute to see if there are any more questions. If not, we will start the hypnosis session. And I mean, save your questions. I'll still be here after the session. But after the session, everybody will be asleep. So the discussion may not be very lively afterwards. Oh, and another thing about beef, I've been told that like a magical reason why Hindu priest and Buddhist priest would avoid beef is it will kind of like in their mind would undo a magic, but it is sort of proper that it will also dismiss a hex. So if you feel like you have been hexed a lot, or you are under some evil eye, like a twisted interpretation of the rule is you want to start eating beef and red meat, and it will dispel some of the heavy feeling and the hexes that you're experiencing. So it's kind of like a bit of a twisted theology and mixed with superstition, but it works. Also, beef and red meat have a lot of iron. So if you are like part of feeling being cursed and hexed is kind of like this low energy fugue state, right? So like the iron bioavailability of those iron would kind of like wake you up and give you the energy to kind of dispel all of hex. So yeah, so beef is good. All right, on to the hypnosis session. Okay, make sure I record on the proper microphone. All right, so this is a hypnosis session to meet Archangel Sandalphon and to receive his blessings. Now I want you to listen to my voice. Now trust my voice completely. Right now, I want you to take a long, slow, deep breath in. And as you exhale, allow every muscle in your body to begin letting go. That's right. With every breath you take, you are sinking deeper, sinking down, sinking into tranquil comfort. Begin at the top of your head. Feel my energy flowing through you, warm and soothing, gently massaging your scalp. Feel all tension melting away. Your forehead softens. Your eyes grows heavy and relaxed. Your jaw loosens completely. My touch is moving through you now, organic and loving. Feel a blissful tingle separating. Feel a blissful tingle spreading across your face as my energy pushes you deeper and deeper into trance. Let your shoulders drop heavily. Good. Feel this energy with you and the universe is connecting. Feel this energy inside you flowing down through your arms and elbows and your hands, and all the way out through your fingertips. Every muscle is loose, limp, and completely relaxed. You are safe and you are loved. Now focus on your chest and back and feel this energy touching deeply inside you, massaging your heart space with sacred and heavenly light. This light is warm, golden, and deeply satisfying. With every breath, you sink even deeper into tranquil comfort. Your breathing is becoming slower, easier, and more natural. You are floating now, floating in airy space energy, weightless and free. Continue downward. Feel this energy inside you moving into your stomach, your lower back, and your hips. I'm taking you deeper, sinking into this blissful relaxation. Your legs are growing heavy and warm. My touch is moving down through your thighs, your knees, and your calves, and into your feet. Every single muscle is now completely relaxed and open. You are now floating in a vast, airy space, surrounded by soft clouds of golden light. In a moment, you will, in a moment, you will receive a full body massage with sacred heavenly light from Sandalphon himself. You will feel this divine energy touching every part of you, bringing complete bliss and renewal. There's nothing for you to do but to follow my voice and sink deeper. You are completely relaxed now, deeply relaxed, blissfully relaxed. My energy inside you is pushing out the last traces of tension. coming through every cell, making you feel light, floating, and perfectly at peace. And now, with your body completely relaxed and open, I want you to follow my voice as you begin to I want you to follow my voice as you begin to drift, drifting through time and space, sinking even deeper with every number I count. Trust my voice completely. My voice is inside you now, deep inside you, guiding you and loving you. As I count 10, feel my energy, warm and golden, pushing out any remaining resistance. You are drifting, floating through this vast space. Time is becoming soft and fluent around you. My touch is taking you deeper, organic and satisfying, as you sink into a blissful surrender. 9. Deeper now. My breath is connecting with yours. My seed of light is planting itself deep inside you, growing stronger, spreading luxurious tangles through your entire being. You're drifting through shimmering veils of time and space, moving towards the sacred realm of the Archangel. 8. Letting go completely. My energy inside you is my energy inside you is coming through every layer of your mind, pushing out all distraction, filling you with deep love and tranquility. Feel yourself floating, weightless, as we drift through starlight corridors of eternity, getting closer and closer to Sandalphon. 7. Sinking deeper and deeper. My voice inside you is so comforting, so commanding, and so loving. You're being taken now, gently yet powerfully, to a profound relaxation. The air around you is rich with golden light as you drift through ancient currents of time and sacred space. 6. Halfway there, feel the blissful vibration growing inside you, turning you completely into openness. You are drifting beautifully through the clouds of energy, time stretching and folding, carrying you directly towards your meeting with great Angel Sandalphon. 6. Deeper now. My energy inside you is expanding, warm and electric, and deeply satisfying. You feel completely loved, completely held, drifting through infinite space and timeless dimension. Every part of you is humming with anticipation for the moment you stand before Sandalphon, the stylish yet powerful Archangels of Earth and lasting abundance. 4. Letting go more and more. My voice inside you commands you to sink even deeper into this blissful state. Feel the tingles spreading as my energy flows through you, organic and complete. You are floating gracefully now. You are floating gracefully now, drifting through glowing rivers of light and time, being lovingly guided to Sandalphon's majestic presence. Almost there now, so deep, so open. The star seed inside you is blooming, filling you with pure golden pleasure and power. You drift through the final veils of reality. You drift through the veils of reality. You drift through the veils of time and space. It is becoming soft, bringing you closer and closer to the warm, prosperous energy of Archangel Sandalphon. 2. So deep now. This energy is touching you deep inside you and loving you and connecting you and preparing you. You're floating in a perfectly airy space. You can feel this energy drifting through sacred dimensions. Every cell is vibrating with excitement and reverence. In this meeting with Sandalphon draws near. 1. Completely deep, completely open in this beautiful trance. This golden energy inside you is fully activated, pushing out everything except for pure bliss and connection. You have drifted through time and space and arrived at the threshold of Sandalphon's sacred realm. You're ready and you're here. Good. I am Dion, your wise spirit guide with flowing long hair and gentle eyes framed by glasses. You can see me standing beside you, taking your hand warmly and securely. Come with me, as I said softly, my voice full of ancient wisdom. And with his hand free, Dion draw a graceful arc in the air, opening a shimmering astral portal of golden soft light. It is not heaven, but it is the sacred angel realm, a vast dimension where each archangel holds their own sovereign domain. Feeling your bare feet firmly planted on the rich, warm soil, you breathe naturally and deeply, allowing roots of light to descend from the soles of your feet deep into the living earth. You stand peacefully at the threshold between the material world. You stand peacefully at the threshold between the material world and the spiritual kingdom as you set your intention. Say to yourself, I now journey to meet Sandalphon, the Archangel of Earth. Now, hand in hand with Dion, you step through the portal. A beautiful, blue-colored fresh air, carrying the crisp and invigorating scent of the ocean, meeting ancient forests, gently wrap around your being, carrying you, emerge into Sandalphon's majestic realm, a grand sunlight garden estate with elegant earth-toned architecture seamlessly blending with nature. Towering ancient trees with shimmering gold waves, towering ancient trees with shimmering golden leaves stretches toward the sky, while overlooking a thriving, prosperous world below. The atmosphere feels deeply grounded, yet expansive, creative, passionate, and abundant. A place where hard work flows with joy and lasting success is cultivated like the finest garden. As you fully step inside, the portal closes gently behind you, scaling the space in perfect protection and sacred peace. Hand in hand with Dion, you walk deeper into this beautiful sacred space. I speak with reverent warmth, and my voice carries clearly through the ancient estate. Great Sandalphon, Archangel of Earth, we come with respect and open heart. We offer you this gift. As I summon the finest expression of fashion, beauty, and craftsmanship that Earth has to offer. As Dion's word echoed gently, a radiant figure materialized before you, full of vibrant energy. A tall, distinguished, stylish gentleman with flowing silvery gray hair and warm earth-toned skin appears. He is impeccably dressed in a tailored, luxurious suit of deep emerald, gold, and rich brown, exuding effortless elegance. His kind and yet powerful eyes meet with yours with the most genuine warmth. Sandalphon steps forward with dignified vitality, radiating a magnetic presence that is both passionate and playful. He may also appear as a beautiful, stylish lady, perfectly made up and dressed like a visionary fashion editor, yet always carrying the same mentor like energy. His eyes meet yours personally and lovingly. You can hear Sandalphon's gentle voice say, "Welcome, dear one. I have been expecting you. I see your desire for true, long lasting success, creative fulfillment, and the kind of abundance you can build and enjoy for a lifetime." As he speaks, you sense his powerful yet grounded energy, electric earth and golden light flowing into your being, filling you with stability, inspiration, and prosperous power. Sandalphon smiles with warm and mentor-like affection. His presence is enveloping you like a rich and fertile earth with golden sunlight. You are still holding on to Dion's hand for guidance, and you feel completely safe as Sandalphon speaks directly to your soul. "Tell me, dear," Sandalphon said, "what are your true ambitions? What projects are you currently building? What kind of lasting legacy do you wish to create in this world?" He pauses and uses the silence for you to speak to him right now. That's right. That's right. And just allow yourself to share, either out loud or using your soul language, to share your deepest desires, dreams, and endeavors. And in this peaceful time, in this peaceful pause, use your mind and heart. Allow your questions, hopes, and visions to rise naturally towards him. Sandalphon listens with full attention, then responds with profound wisdom. His answers may come as clear words that you understand in this moment, or as beautiful codes, vivid images, feelings, symbols, sigils, and sensory impressions that will unfold and reveal the meaning to you over the coming days and weeks. With passionate yet gentle authority, he emphasized, true and lasting success is born from joyful disciplines, creative fire, intelligent strategy, and consistent, heartfelt work. When you pour your passion into what you built, I will open the doors, weaves the opportunities, and help your efforts grow into empires and endure. Another gentle pause is given there, for you to receive His guidance. Good. And use this pause and silence to feel this energy and His wisdom flowing through you. Now, Sandalphon raises his hand and places it gently upon your heart. His touch is warm and grounding. Sandalphon said, "First, I bestowed upon you the blessing of aligned flow." He declares with a kind smile, "Divine timing shall be yours. The right door will open at the right doors will open at the perfect moment, and you'll meet the exact people who can elevate your path, and opportunities will arrive in powerful chains that multiplies with ease. You feel a flowing river of golden green energy moving through your body, aligning you with perfect synchronicity and graceful progress. He then places his other hand upon your forehead, sending waves of vibrant light into your mind and energy. Second, I grant you the blessing of instant power. Your personal charm will grow magnetic and authentic. You'll be filled with joyful discipline, unbreakable perseverance, and a constant wellspring of creative fire. Others will naturally respect and trust you as your inner strength shines through. A deep and electric surge of confidence, creativity, and charismatic presence fills every cell of your being. Finally, Sandalphon rests both hands upon your shoulders, anchoring the energy into your core. And third, I crown you with the blessings of enduring empire. You will build legacy with wealth, rise steadily in your career with meaningful rewards, and create stylish, joyful abundance that lasts. Your work will be protected by grounded resilience, allowing you to manifest a powerful legacy that you can stand up on and pass forward with pride. Powerful roots of golden light anchor these blessings into your Earth star and entire energy system, sealing them as permanent gifts. And Sandalphon steps closer, his eyes shining with benevolent power. He raises both hands and directs a beautiful and heavenly light directly into the center of your soul. This light is warm and deeply comforting, never burning, and flowing like liquid gold with rich earth energy. As it enters you, it gently invigorates every part of your soul, awakening dormant potential and filling you with renewed vitality, clarity, and strength. This sacred light blends the very spirit of Sandalphon into the fabric of your being, weaving his essence seemingly with yours. And in this moment, you are forever bound together as devotees and patron. And in this moment, you are forever bound together as devotee and patron. From this light forward, you carry Sandalphon's sacred wealth energy within you, prosperous, creative, grounded, and magnetic. Through this divine infusion, you're reborn as a more powerful version of yourself, a builder of legacy, a magnet for success, and a vessel for enduring abundance. with the blessings and imprint of Sandalphon now permanently anchored within you. I, Dion, gently take your hand once more. It is time to return, I said softly with a wise smile. Hand in hand, Dion guides you back through the shimmering portal, bringing you safely down to earth. As you return fully grounded in your body, forever carrying the blessings, wisdom, and sacred energy of Sandalphon with you from this day forward. As Dion, your spirit guide, gently guiding you back into your physical body, you feel your feet firmly reconnecting. You feel your feet firmly reconnecting with earth, warm and stable. You are now fully present, grounded, and safe. With every breath you take, powerful waves of energy begins to move through you. You're feeling deeply energized, inspired, and completely uninhibited. Sandalphon's sacred energy is now fully activated with every cell of your being. Right now, this powerful light is turning on your ability to receive, turning on your natural capacity to receive abundance, opportunities, and blessings with ease, turning on your psychic ability, turning on your astral senses, making them sharp, clear, and highly perceptive, turning on your charisma, magnetic, warm, and naturally attractive, turning on your ability to attract money, success, and the right people in your life, turning on your creativity, your drive, and your personal power. All these gifts are now turning on stronger and stronger with every breath that you take. Your spirit is now completely cleansed, pure, bright, and radiant. All energetic parasites are removed. All negativity, blocks, and limitations are banished completely, dissolving into golden light. You feel light and free and totally clear. It is now the perfect time to seize the moment. You are inspired and motivated to work hard, study, and improve yourself daily. Work out and exercise with joy, eat healthy, nourishing food, and pursue your life to the fullest. You are now turning on unstoppable disciplines, passionate action, and joyful consistency in everything you do. You will easily remember Dion's wise and loving voice in your dreams. I, Dion, your spirit guide, will continue guiding you towards love, money, and healthy body, creative success, and a clean, vibrant spirit. Every night as you sleep, Dion walks with you, offering gentle guidance, protection. You feel deeply thankful and appreciative to Sandalphon and all the spirits. Your heart is overflowing with sincere gratitude to all the spirits who supported you. You feel happy, light, and humming with positive energy, smiling naturally as this beautiful energy flows through you. The portal between you and Sandalphon is now wide open. The connection is strong, clear, and permanent. You carry Sandalphon's blessing. His, you carry Sandalphon's blessing, Sandalphon's success energy, and Sandalphon's prosperous spirit is with you all the time. You are reborn from this radiant light, more powerful, more magnetic, and more abundant and more aligned than ever before. And now, as you prepare to return to a full wakeful awareness, you integrate all these blessings deeply and permanently into every level of your being, feeling energized, inspired, grateful, and totally motivated. Counting up now. 1, feeling the growing energy in your body. 2, turning on every 2, turning on more clarity and personal power. 3, charisma and attractiveness fully activated. 4, deep gratitude filling your heart. 5, halfway awake now, feeling light, happy, and humming with success energy. 6, all psychic and astral senses turned on and balanced. 7, ready to take inspired action and seize every opportunity. 8, body feeling energized, spirit cleaned and radiant. 9, eyes beginning to open, fully integrating all the blessings that are bestowed upon you. 10, wide awake now, fully alert, fully wonderful, feeling absolutely empowered and ready to create your legacy. You're fully awake now, refreshed and blessed. Feels good, doesn't it? Right. Okay, so we are back in this room. Take a moment to stretch. Take a drink of water if you have to. Take a moment to resituate yourself in your room. So if anybody is still with me, type something. Hey, Ashley. Ashley said, I would definitely have to watch the replay. Hey, thanks for joining us. This is Sandalphon. Have you ever worked with Archangel Sandalphon with you? I'm sure I sent you some Sandalphon artifact, like a necklace or something, right? Ashley said, you gave me necklace and crystal. Great. So yeah, so you missed the discussion. So Archangel Sandalphon is my wealth patron. He's the number one spirit I go to for career advancement, anything money related, career related. And it's also the number one spirit I employed when people come to me for money matters or career matters. Like I've discussed before, there's more, you need more than money to live a fulfilled life, right? And angels and spirit could elevate your quality of life and give you many blessings that money cannot buy. Hello, FGFG. FGFG said he's still here. So I don't know, Ashley, if I told you how I got started on Etsy. I've told this story many times, but yeah. So like in the beginning, you can like replay, and you can hear the story from the earlier discussion. So basically, in the beginning, I don't know where to start. A spirit guide had given me the idea of being a professional black magician, and while I had my head twisted, don't know what to do. Sandalphon, Archangel Sandalphon, just popped into my mind and said, why don't you try Etsy? I was like, Etsy? What the fuck? I thought I was selling like shirts and stuff before. I would go to like Goodwill or TJ Maxx, and I would buy items and I would resell them on eBay or Etsy. So I had an account there. I had an account to sell like my videos, like you have seen before. But I never thought I can work with Etsy on being a black magician there. So long story short, turns out there's a big metaphysical community there that I have never even thought of before. So long story short, he doesn't just give me money, like, all this friendship and knowledge that I have acquired through being a professional black magician, and he just gave me this one idea, and off I go. And it's not just the idea of Etsy, right? He probably see that this is a great timing because at the time nobody else was doing what I'm doing, and I sort of like I'm like the person who is responsible for bringing demons into Etsy, right? At the time, just saying demon's name is very offensive. So I don't know how it would be received, but I guess like Sandalphon saw that the opportunity is there, the timing is right. If I started doing what I do on Etsy before, it may not get any traction, or if I'm starting now, I would be kicked out. I've missed the wave, and also when I started, I just happened to meet some very supportive people, and I meet some people who represent my product overseas. So the timing was perfect. So it's more than just an idea and a thought, right? And I still have to work hard. I have to work my butt off. FGFG could attest to that. Like, I had so many rituals and readings to do. I barely get any sleep, but it was well worthwhile. Even the bad experience, a good experience, a learning experience. Um, Ashley said, "You have good taste in clothing, though. That snake shirt I wore until I couldn't anymore. I'm grateful Sandalphon gave you the idea. Thank you for listening." Hey, oh yeah, the snake shirt. Do you like it? It was like one of those magical timing too, right? I think you were about to go to the concert or something. I might have one more. I don't know what I did to that. So yeah, so like at the time I was collecting serpent stuff because I learned that like my Vedic symbol is a snake. So I think that was before I become like fully professional. So I had like a lot of snake um, related paraphernalia, and it was also like where the serpent god transformation comes from. Like I know a lot about like serpent godhood in South Asia. So yeah, so that's where the snake connection comes from. Ashley said, "Yes, it was amazing. It matches the tattoo on my arm." Oh yeah, yeah. You were just getting a tattoo, right? And and it was perfect astral synchronicity. So yeah, it proves that there were so many spirits among us looking out for you. FGFG said, "Yes, you always work very hard, Dion." Thank you, FGFG. Yeah, so it's like I'm giving you so many case study to show you that how it is done and how it is played out. Most of the grimoires and YouTubers that I talk to, they only shows you the rituals, right? They have great videos. They talk about the history of it and how many candles they burn and whatnot. But like nobody actually talk about how the process of manifestation, right? It just feels like movie magic, right? Like you make a wish and then it comes true. So I'm showing you the steps in between for you to actualize your wishes. Hey, Instagram. Hey, Charlotte, March. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Rodolfo Games. Hey, sorry I missed all this Instagram people. Instagram, if you're still on Instagram, make sure you come by YouTube and hang out. Sorry, I wasn't like looking at my Instagram screen. If you hop over to YouTube, we have much better sound quality here. Dark Kisses ask, are you doing anything with Gabriel or Michael? I do a lot with Michael, sometimes Gabriel. They are like the top guys. So I got a lot of requests for both of them. But they seems pretty busy though. So any specific questions about Gabriel and Michael? Yeah, maybe we can do a live stream with Gabriel and Michael sometime. Gabriel, I mean, yeah, both of them are like the patron for everybody. If you don't know who to pact with, if you don't know who your patron is, just pact with Michael or Gabriel. You'll be fine. But like I said, they are kind of like very busy. So you may not get a lot of interaction with them, or if you do, it will be like their friends that they send you, or one of their subordinate angel that they send you, which is fine. Your life will be great, but you may not get a lot of direct interaction with Gabriel or Michael. Dark Kisser said, I just feel drawn to them, but I'm doing a lot of releasing. Nice. Wanted baths. Yes. It's like a lobster, you know, you need to change your shell once every often. Like it's like a lobster, you have outgrown your shell. You need to shed. You need to grout and get a new shell, you know. I think everybody are still asleep from the hypnosis. That's fine. So any stories to share, Ashley? Any paranormal story that you want to share or occult success that you want to share to inspire people that are here or listening in the future? Dark Kiss as a how's Pluto retrograde impacting you? A good question. How's Pluto retrograde impacting you? Good question, though. I haven't been paying attention to Pluto. Poor Pluto has been downgraded to a Kuiper belt object. But, you know, Pluto will always be a planet to me. I don't care how these PhD astronomer says. Like who they're doing, they are scientists. Ugh. But yeah, Pluto will always be a planet to me. You know the Pluto probe that was sent a few years ago. I don't think I've reached Pluto. Oh no, it reached Pluto. Oh no, but that's a different. That's a different satellite. I think a Pluto probe that was sent a few years ago. It actually carries the ashes of the person who discovered Pluto. Like I don't know if you know the story, but like he was like highly doubted and ridiculed when he discovered Pluto. But then eventually he was validated. Yeah. So yeah, so I think it was like a classy for NASA to send the ashes of the person who discovered the planet to that planet. But I don't know if Like if you've discovered like a Kuiper belt object, like an asteroid, right? Like would you want to be buried in a cold asteroid, right? I don't know. I thought it was Kasi move. Dark Kisses said a lot of releasing. Apt of accountability and a lot of moving differently. Okay, that's great. Good to see you are doing so well, my friend. How long have you been? How long have you been working together? Like it must be like 2 or 3 years by now, right? If anything, proves that black magic works. It works very well. It's not just an overnight thing. It brings consistent long-term success. As you know, as you can see, a lot of my friends are still here. Many of you guys are, you know, have worked with me for many years. Proves that, if you work hard and follow what I said, some basic instructions and directions, and willing to change, black magic works. It will elevate your life in ways that you've never thought possible before. All right, so I'm just waiting for questions or discussions, or it doesn't have to be question form. I know it's not easy. This is not Jeopardy. But if you have anything to share, or if you want to say, just say talk about this, and then I'll get the points. Okay. Dark Kisses said, I would say Hecate is the most consistent I work with. Lucifer, even though the pact with Hanaya blessed with me, with my man today. Oh, that's great. Hanaya is the Archangel of Love. We can put it this way. I guess we can call her my love patron. It's the number one spirit I go to, and number one spirit I recommend for everybody with anything with love issues. I mean, love is not just like romantic love, right? Like there's so many aspects of love that need to be ironed out. And Hannah Yao is wise beyond my imagination. Like she just find a way to help people that from my perspective I never thought possible before. So glad to see you doing so well, Ashley, working with Hannah Yao, Lucifer, and Hikate. FG said, I agree with you. Thank you, my friend. Ashley said, I back her from my ex-husband. I did that pact with Hanaya through you, and this relationship is so much healthier. Yes, that's true. And it is, and and also thank you, Ashley, for doing the sensible thing, right? And much credit to you um, to rip the band-aid off. Change are not easy, but you tough it through. Most people are not as smart as you, or most people would feel that their way of success is the only way, and ignores you know all the good sign and goodwill from the spirit around you. um it's kind of like when you're driving a certain direction and you're not getting to the destination, most people would just step on the gas harder. They won't be thinking about changing directions or looking at the map, or looking for alternate ways to get there. Like you cannot drive to England, no matter how hard you try. Um, Danny said, "Dark kisses. I have been in the same boat. See, Thank you for sharing. Dark Kisser said, see, my ex-husband was abusive and not good for me. But I was like, the spirits can change him. So this is when I first got this text. That's great. You did the right thing. A lot of people would try to, you know, like you said, change the spouse. Or tell me to use coercive magic to change the spouse. And sometimes it works for a little. Like if it works for a little, it is a window for the two of you to get together and reconcile. And sometimes the window is not there. Or the window will show you, like Jeremy do this a lot. Um, through for me and my clients, like they'll bring the two of you together for like a final farewell tour, right? Like sometimes it's like an impossible relationship. It will bring me the girl for like, we have a chance to talk or whatnot. And then I'll see that, oh, she's actually a psycho, right? And then go our separate ways. It doesn't have to be like painful. You can still have like fond feelings for each other, but like, it's clear that you need to go the separate ways. So like different spirits have like different ways of showing you what's up. But thank you, Dark Kisses, for doing the right thing. Dark Kisses said, I'm grateful it didn't work that way. Yes. I'm grateful it works out for you. How's any stories from Hecate and Lucifer that you want to share? Oh. You see, in the old days, old days, a pact with a spirit is a big taboo. Like you don't even talk about it. Like a pact with Lucifer will get you killed in the witch hunt days. All right, I think we're done with Instagram, right? Okay. But these days, not only do we talk about it openly, I hear in forums, like people will be showing off their packs. Well, times have changed, but I'm still like very secretive. Like I'm still very I take confidentiality very seriously. Like I would never tell what packs anybody have anybody unless you brought it up. If you brought it up, then we can talk about it. But I guess the taboo is totally gone, right? Like nobody even feel strange or like feel adverse to say that they have a pact with Lucifer. I mean, baptism is kind of like a pact, right? Um, Danny said, Sandalphon told me to continue as I have been, but to be more disciplined with creative effort. Yes. And he's going to help you find creativity. You may just be creative and you don't know, right? Well, sometimes the education system have blocked us from being creative. Like every time you try to do something different, you were put down. And the kids that are non-creative and just follow orders blindly, those are the kids that got rewarded, right? Danny said, in the same boat, he wants me to relax and let go. Yes. He said, don't relax too much. Um, yeah, but like, go with the flow. I don't, yeah, you're a day trader too, right? We said ride the wave. Darkissa said, Hecate, I prayed through her and I asked her to help me to get the divorce without me initiating it. Okay. It's not easy, Yeah, I can, like, fortunately, I never have to go through that, but I've seen friends that were still in divorce proceeding for like 10 years. I have a friend. I've actually slept with many married women, and it's not what you think, right? So, like, I once dated a girl for like 2 years. And then, like, after 2 years, one day I was in her apartment. She said, and this is a really big guy that comes in. He is like 6 foot tall, 6 foot 2, like pure muscle, right? And she said, "Hey, Dion, meet my husband." I was like, "Fuck," but like, turns out that she was in a green card marriage, and 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 they are not really together. But I think like that guy really loves the girl, and he needs to crash in our couch for a week or two. So that was very awkward. And there was this girl that I dated on and off for like, I knew her for like 10 years, and I knew she was married, and she said she was divorced, right? And and after 10 years, we were just on and off. We were just hanging out, kind of like friends with benefits. And then one day she met somebody, and she's going to get married with this new guy, right? And she said, "Finally, I got a divorce after 10 years." So like she would never divorce her old husband. So turns out all this time we were dating, and she was still married. So yeah, so divorce is a messy thing. Dark Kisser said, "Lucifer, there's so much I can say with him. I was carrying in my bed for a month, not wanting to work, my family against me. Lucifer got me work and made sure bills got paid and food got put in the house." Oh, wow. Great Lucifer success stories. I'm going to have to use that as testimonial, actually. Wow. And that Lucifer pact has been new, right? It's, yeah, hasn't been that long. So, like, great to see that it's working out. Danny said, yes, like making the trade according to plan and detaching from the outcome. Yes. Or when things go south, you don't like checking out the trade. And sometimes you just feel the money and you ride with it, right? Like, the thing with the human brain is, your brain is slower than the situation. Once you see it clearly, then the chances are gone. Then the opportunity is gone. Um, Danny said, "I've been in the divorce process for almost 2 years now." Yes. Yeah, Danny, you can attest to that. Maybe you have some wisdom to share with Dark Kisses. Fortunately, I never have to go through that. My parents are divorced, and it was very messy. Yeah, like you said, I don't know if I can handle this. Some people, like, I know this lady, she went through divorce for 20 years, like separating assets and things like that. And she is like a sharp corporate lady too. And yeah, uh, Dark Kisses said, Lucifer comforted me and was kind to me. People who follow mainstream religion misjudged him. He can be tough, but he's honest and being so kind to me. Yes, that's true. That's a testimonial for Lucifer. We can at least say that. I cried, Lucifer telling him I don't want to lose him, even after the pact. Yeah, he'll be with you. You have been respectful, and you are doing black magic the proper way. Danny said, it is still messy, in a sense. While my ex is still very kind to me, she does not want to let go deep down, even though she was the one that wanted the divorce. Oh, okay. You're too much of a man. No ladies could resist you. But yeah, um, it's like a modern kind of pain. But still, it's good that you guys are in good terms and still talking. Like it's hard to imagine somebody could just be ripped out of your life and never been heard from again. Ashley said, Dark Kisses said, sorry, Danny. I hope everything works out in your favor. Danny said, yes, I just have to consciously keep her at a distance. Danny said, it is so far. I just wish the best in her case. That's true. I think that's the best case to let go, is to let them go with the best wishes. What's the saying? Hold on tightly, let go lightly, right? Danny said, thank you, Dark Kisses. That's great. The group is bonding. Normally, in a group session, we will create what we call emotional bridges, and the participants can talk and share. That way, I don't have to talk so much. But it doesn't apply here. Like I still have to read out your messages, so I'm not talking any less when you guys are sharing. Well, no, but this is very well welcomed. So please share as much as you can. This is what we're here for. Danny said, yes, I love that there is some interaction between us. That's great. This is why we have live stream, right? It's not just me talking. Dark Kisser said, it's been rough rebuilding even 4 years after the divorce. He tried to destroy me financially and smear campaign in my hometown. It's been rough. Yeah, I feel your pain, actually. I feel your pain, Dark Kisses. Danny said, have you placed any protections? I mean, in a rough bit of chaos, but you're in a better place now, right? It's better for it to be out in the open than it just slowly drains you, right? Like that's even the worst case. And when you say smear campaign, right? Like it is also a test for who are your real friends, right? For the people who believe in his smear campaign are the same people that, you know, want to see your demise, right? So in a way, it it shows you who are your real friends and who you can trust, right? And the people who believed him, they're going to stab you in the back eventually. So, like what Warren Buffett said, right? It's only when the tide goes out that you know who's swimming naked. Dark Kisser said, I did a walnut bath, so I don't feel anger or anything towards him. Okay. Or you can also try. My vocabulary are fleeting me today. Dew. Dew. Is that the? I used to use that to make preserved salmon. It tastes very well. But you can take a bath with dew. That is also a cleansing bath or a basil leaf in the water. But then you have to like kind of clean the bathtub. It's going to be like greenish mold afterwards. It's kind of dyed the white porcelain of the bath. Or if your bath is kind of like plasticky, the green kind of sticks around. and you still have to like pull it out of the drain. But yeah, dew and basil leaf, or just take a salt water bath. That's good. Dark Kisses said it's better being divorced because it lies on my name and my character. That's true. Danny said, as I am usually the offensive when it comes to magic. Dark Kisses said he was violent towards me, our pets, and my daughter. He brought his girlfriend in our home. She's super Christian, so that made me turn to magic. Oh, well, thanks for sharing. Dark Kisses said, thank you, Danny. Thank you, Dion. You are very welcome. So yeah, Dark Kisses made a good point, A lot of black magic and witches actually comes from people that are sick and tired of the Bible thumper, Like the overly zealous Christianity actually shows who they really are, you know. Like the spirits have the way to show you the truth. Like I talked to Yahweh before, I talked to Jesus before. Like they also don't want to be trapped in this like crazy Christian um, portrayal of them, right? So they find a way to let everybody know that Christians are really abusing the good name of Jesus and Yahweh um, in the myriads of sins and shit that they do. Oh, Danny said, of course, it's a rough period, and we are all here to help. Yes, it turns into a support group. Danny said, yes, I was born in a Jehovah Witness, and that is what pushed me towards black magic. Yeah, maybe it was in Yahweh and Jesus' plan all along, to show you that the people who represent them don't represent them. And the truth is that the true path to God and Jesus is through black magic. Dark Kisses said, I believe that and it's not cool. Danny said, that's what I believe. Like, I see black magic not as anti-Christian. I see black magic not as anti-God. I see working with Satan is a bypath. Actually brings me closer to the Elohims. Like without black magic, then we wouldn't be questioning, like, where does this Bible verse come from? Like why this theology, right? Like only through black magic do we question, hey, the original sin and the fall, that doesn't make sense. And we can question that. And we through these questions, we found out that it was never like an organic thing. It's like a human thing that twists the Bible to make for institutions to have power over humans. You know, as black magicians, it is our duty to question that. And it brings the real Jesus, the real Yahweh, and the real Satan and the real spirit closer to humanity. Like right now, I see the church and institution as more of a hindrance than and conduit toward the higher beings. Then he said, as some of my prayers that have been answered were things that were against my Jehovah Witness teachings. Yes. Did you have to uh, wear this white shirt and you have the name tag? Do you have to walk around and knock on houses, Danny? That's my impression of Jehovah's Witness. And they were selling cookies at a subway station. Dark Kisses said, I told Jesus, I said, I don't blame you for how people act so ugly and nasty, but they hide behind your name. That's not cool. Yes, I totally agree with you. I think I'm doing more of God's work by promoting Satan. Like Yahweh said to me, I want you to present the true me to humanity. I think that's part of my mission. I don't know if I'm doing a good job, but like that's my pursuit to the best of my ability. Then he said, I did knock on house, but the shirt and name tag is Mormon. I said, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I am sorry. They're very similar. Okay. But did you learn though? Like, I guess like theology aside, go around knocking houses, that's a good training as a salesman, right? I was a door-to-door salesman once. It was a terrible job. But I've learned so much approaching strangers and things like that. Dark Kisses said, I hope to never offend any spirits, but I would rather burn in hell any day. No, you won't burn in hell. Hell is like there's no hell. I can tell you right now, there is no hell. Mark my words. If Dion were to declare anything, if I have to evoke infallibleness for being Dion, is that there is no hell. Even the Pope said there's no hell. Like hell is something that was made up to control the population. Mark my words, there is no hell. Dark Kisses said, Dion, you are an angel in human form. Oh, you're so nice. I mean, what is the point of black magic, right? Is to ascend from human into God form, right? And the next step, once you're done being human, will be like, we want to share a story. So I don't know if you have been with my YouTube channel for a long time, but I had this friend who passed when she was young. She was like 30 something, and I actually put some of her work in my YouTube channel for a while until YouTube capuched it because whatever was being satanic or whatnot. But like she died young, and then one night she come into my dream, and she said she wants to be an angel, and this was before I become professional black magician. It's not long before I become professional black magician, but she came to me one night, and it was perfectly natural setting. I don't even know, like it didn't even feel like a dream. Like we were just talking like roommates. And we were like drinking white wine, and she said she wants to be an angel. And I was like, yeah. And it never, like, I knew she was dead in the dream, but like it never feel weird that I was talking to that person. But like she said, if you find anybody who needs help, send them to me. I was like, oh, okay. Actually, I actually wrote a story on that. Her name was Cindy. It's one of my Bunyan story in my channel. And so and then I become a professional black magician. And like one of my earlier clients, he ordered a egregore creation. Egregore is like a creative spirit, and I feel that he just wants some company. So and then all of a sudden that conversation, that dream came back to me. So I did a ritual and sent Cindy to him, my dead friend. And he told me he has been having like a streak of good luck ever since I did that ritual. And he said he could see Cindy in his house. He could like dream of her often. And it was actually the first person to leave a long review in my Etsy store. So yeah. Oh, so my point is like when you die, you going to heaven. That's like lazy people's way of envisioning a good afterlife. If you want to live a good afterlife, you want to be of service. So like, long story short, to reply to what Dark Kisses said, Yeah, like being an angel should be an aspiration for your afterlife endeavor. Like, so in a way, Cindy was like auditioning to become an angel, or this is like her angel in training to help people, right? So Danny said the leaders focus on conversion. The leader focused on conversion to a large group of faithful followers to further their influence and goals. Yes, or like an unthinking mass, right? Like when they refer to Jesus, they, and then they refer you as sheep, right? Like Jesus is the shepherd, and then they turn themselves into the shepherd, meaning that they are the one who are thinking, and you are just a stupid follower without thoughts, right? You're just sheep, and you follow them anywhere. I'm not a fucking sheep. Go fuck yourself. Yeah, so like they they want you to stop thinking, and if you do, they put the fear in you with hell and demons and whatnot, and not getting into heavens and whatnot. Yeah, so good points, Danny. So Dixie Wilmer, hey, welcome back. I'm not always that active with offerings, but I always follow through with my rituals. Yes, that's great. Like I got rituals that took me multiple years, but I did finish. Yes, that's great. You know, maybe they're influencing you too. Sometimes you do a ritual and you don't know what you're doing. And me too, when I just started, I just go through. It's literally go through the rituals, like where to I place the candles and what geometric shape I should look at, and how long should I scry into the ball. But like maybe you started a ritual and then you end it a few years later, you really understand what each move is about. That was make it a good ritual. Now that you are more wise and more experienced, every step of the ritual, you do it with more intention. Okay, so Dark Kisser said, I just have seen many Christians not care about people well-being and actually wish downfall on people who don't want a part of their religion. Yes, that's true. Not to be political, but we are seeing it play out right now. You know, like ask yourself how many people die in the name of Jesus and how many people actually died or got hurt in the name of Satan, right? In the name of Jesus, civilization has fallen. Billions of people have died in the name of Jesus, in the name of, quote unquote, major religion. It's this hypocrisy that really gets to you, gets to me. Like they get to commit murder and genocide and SAs at the same time. They are still they want to be seen as the moral righteousness. Like they are literally doing bad things on the high horse. But in any case, I know we are all having the same complaint. We just want to get it out of our system. Dark Kisser says the Epstein stuff was sick and they didn't hold those people accountable but blame Moloch. Yes, that's true. I don't think it was like I did the thorough search and Moloch was never actually in the files. As far as I can tell. Like I look it up too. Like none of those people were Moloch worshippers. They were all quote unquote Christians. They don't even know who Moloch is. I think Epstein's temple in his island was made for Poseidon. Yeah. But Poseidon is like an actual god. And there are a lot of people that either works with Poseidon or or have Poseidon in the business logo. So they don't want to like offend those people, right? So they just blame it on Moloch. But yeah, so if you care to know, Epstein is a Poseidon worshiper. Then he said, no, he was not a Moloch worshiper. Then he said Moloch is just something that people draw a conclusion to. Yes, I actually looked it up. I actually searched very hard, and that was not based on evidence. Dixie Wilmer said, I think Hollywood does some real dark magic and music industry. Yes, that's true. A lot of people say they sold their soul to Satan for fame, like those rock stars. But I think that's not like a real ritual. Like there are the real people that were doing real black magic. You don't see them people. Those are the power that be behind the curtains. Those are that is where the real dark magic happens. The celebrities, they are just pawns. I know the artist that was formerly known as Prince. He has a pact with Bailiff. His guitar was actually shaped to look like the sigil of Bailiff. Dixie Wilmer said, I think there is an egregor that they're offering to the Hollywood music industry. Oh, yeah? Maybe I can go look it up. And we could evoke him here for a next live stream, and we will all be rich and famous. The music industry likes to meme the black magic portion too with music video. Yes. But in a way, okay, so let me read the next message. Funny because Prince was a Jehovah's Witness too. Oh, was he really? I didn't know that. I did not know that. In a way, it's like they promote it in an adverse way, right? In a way, they promote it as, oh, this is an evil thing that they're doing to scare people from actually doing dark magic, You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not like they're promoting black magic as it, oh, you do this and then you'll be like rich and famous. They're promoting in such a way to warn you off from black magic, or as like the establishment trying to warn you off from black magic or witchcraft. Like the only reason why they hate witchcraft is that this is the true path to power. And they're blocking you from actually talking to God and Jesus and Satan and Lucifer or Hecate or whatnot, or Sandalphon, Even working directly with angels, quote unquote angels, were forbidden by the church at some point. Like a lot of people ask me, why, if you work with angels, why is the black magic? Well, because it was once banned. Like at one point, asking an angel to help you directly was considered blasphemy. All right, so we are having a good discussion here. A bonding experience. Dark Kisses said, Sky X Daddy, she gave Hecate a shout in a song. I was happy for that. Oh, okay. I think I've missed that. So yeah, so I'm sure we can write a paper or a book on black magic in film industry, and I know a lot of models and actresses. They all have their own black magic ritual or witchcraft rituals to get ahead. Like it's a highly competitive field. It's a bit like the devils wear Prada. It's just not that obvious. Like they're just really nice to you, but in your back, they are like hexing you, and they're also doing all kinds of rituals to get an advantage because it is just so competitive. You are either making $3,000 a shoot, or you are nobody that struggling to feed yourself. So any rituals that could give you an unfair advantage they will use. So yeah, so you're right. So all kinds of witchcraft and black magic behind it. So like black magic. So I guess like witchcraft would be like more suited as a definition. Like black magic, it's kind of like newish. Um, like not until recently do people actually know who Paimon is, or know how to work directly with like Boon or something. But yeah, so like, but a lot of witchcraft do happens in the film and entertainment industry. Danny said you should look into Jehovah's Witnesses history because it's very much taken to the extreme but subtle level of control you're talking about. Yes, it's like this mind game that they play with you, right? The founder was Masonic adjacent, and even numerologist and pyramidologist. Yes, I've heard that, but I'm just being careful on what I say, so I don't get murdered. He used measurement of pyramids to create prophecies. Oh, did he really? Are you a pyramid expert, Danny? I haven't been keeping up with my readings, but when I was young, um, I don't want to say a pyramidologist, but like when in high school, I read a lot about like how to use pyramids. Of course, those are definitely pseudoscience, but like one day I'm going to buy like a large house and I'm going to build like fucking pyramids of all measures and just to test those theories. Like I want to build a pyramid, so like my desk and my chair is like right underneath at the 1/3 and the 2/3 point. See if I could like receive like energy from Ra and Orisis and stuff like that. And then I want to build like pyramids where I would just sleep, then like hanging, sleeping at the right proportion to see if my dream will be like, will I receive better astral signals and things like that. And if it is possible, I want to be buried in a pyramid somewhere. But the thing is, like, I thought about that. Like, if I ever get buried in a pyramid, it's going to get jacked. Like, yeah, I would never find peace. Like, everybody want a piece of that. So that's the downside. Maybe I could like build a pyramid in like some weird exotic, but there's no like exotic place to hide anymore. But like that's like my fantasy, my pyramidology fantasy. But yeah, so Danny, if you have any edge on how to use pyramids in occult studies or how to make a wishes manifest faster with pyramid science, please share. Dark Kisses said, that's my mom's side of the family, and they all make more than me because they claim to be Christians. Yeah, okay. Like, what do you mean they make more money than you? Is that what you mean? With all due respect, unless they are billionaires, don't be flexing their money. Dexy Wilmer said, in my master's thesis, I thanked Boone at the end. So my offering to Boone is stored somewhere in my university. Oh, wow, that's great. What does your professor said? Like, does anybody get it? Understand what you were trying to do? Danny said, I'm not very versed in pyramids, but I have been drawn to them. Okay. I know it's probably a waste of money, but like I thought of getting one of those copper like pyramid thingy to put in a room, but like there's no space for it. And I've always been living with other people, so like that would be like too weird. Dark Kisses said those people always celebrate downfalls or setbacks. It's crazy. My aunt said I was levitating every yesterday old. Only one close to me was my grandparents. They tried burning my grandma's Ouija board. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I feel your pain. Like share a sad story. Back when I was like 16ish, I was deep into the occult, and one night my mother came into my room and she throws out like all my books and my stuff that I was working on, and those are library books, and I have to like pay the library back for not returning the books. And the sad part is like after that she got a divorce, and she has been living in a miserable life afterwards because like she pissed off a lot of spirit for doing that. Like a lot of her divorce money was scammed away, and she never like she's a pharmacist, but like she never find like good work, and she was like she never find like a nice good place to stay for more than a few months and stuff like that. So you never know, like your relatives who burn your grandma's Ouija board, they are pissing off a lot of spirits. Okay, so like for karma, right? I've been told that karma itself works, but it's a very weak force. But what you are experiencing, what you see for when you do bad things happen to you, is like what you do is you actually piss off the spirit, and the piss off spirits are coming after you for doing a bad deed. Like if you rough up a dog, and you never know, like maybe the spirit was like helping this dog, and you piss off that spirit that was like helping the dog, and then they'll come after you. That's the true karma. That's not so like that's so karma itself is weak force, but the stronger force is you piss off the spirit. So like my point for you actually is like your relatives will feel the wrath of the Ouija spirits. That's the payback. Dark Kisses said, I want Hikate's temple rebuilt. Yes. Like one of my lottery dream, like if I win $1 billion, is to build temples for these spirits. But it doesn't have to be overt, right? It could just be a house, and the inside of the house will be converted to, a large place for a particular spirit. It'll be like an incognito kind of temple. That's like one of my lottery promise. Dixie Wimmer said they didn't they didn't say anything about it, but they were probably like, "What is this?" Like, what do you mean? Like, oh, they were professors. Okay, maybe they know. They're just more discreet about it. I've been told this is like many, many, many years ago before I was a proficient black magician. But this girl that I met who was also learning to be black magicians, we share a lot of stories, and she said she actually she wrote a book, and the cover of the book is in the shape of the sigil of Boone. And then she meant to be incognito, but it turns out that she suspects that her uncle was also a secret black magician. And one day her uncle saw the sigil of Boone, and then he winks at her. So you never know. Maybe your professor know what you're doing. They just don't tell you. Dark Kisses said they were more. Yes, they make more than me, but they are like, you don't make anything because you're not Christians. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. With all due respect, I respect people make any money, right? But to flaunt the wealth, to make people feel little because you make slightly more money than them. Come on, man. Like, it's not like they were billionaires. Like, they're not billionaires, right? Like, it's like a child flaunting his 2 pieces of chocolate and say, I have more candies than you. I hope spirits bless you with billions. Oh, thank you. Thank you, my friend. Danny said, speaking of lottery, how do you work with lucky numbers or personal lucky numbers? What do you mean? Well, if you have a lucky number, just go buy the tickets, right? I play the same numbers. So, like, this is my secret. I have the same numbers, and I actually use rituals to energize those numbers. That way I don't go insane tracking all the tickets that I got. So, like, every time I can just check the lottery and I will know if I win or not. I've won or not. And I know exactly what I've won. And, your lucky numbers, I think I wrote an article on that before. It's not just the lottery numbers, right? Like, it could be like a door 14 that you want to walk through. Or maybe a guy that you talk to, wears a football shirt that says 14, that's the direction you want to walk to. I know my lucky number is 14, so I usually buy a few lottery tickets or scratch off on the 14th of every month and spending 14 at a time. Oh, that's perfect. So yeah, you can be as creative as you want. You're opening pathways for the spirit to interact with you. I always get some small wins from it. Oh, that's great. Dark Kisser said, Danny, I hope you get a win in the lottery. Oh, wow. Good team building message here. Dark Kisser said they're not. They're not billionaires, right? Okay. Dark Kisser said my brother has $500,000 saved and they all flaunt his saving. Oh, come on. I mean, I don't want to put down people's money, $500,000. Come on, man. I use AI. Danny said, I love that you said 14 before even reading my message about 14. Yeah. Okay, I cheated. I actually saw the 14 in your message. FGFG said, I marked down the number every time I saw in my dream. Yes, that's true. So, actually happens to my relative. Like, one of my relative won the lottery and she won like $20,000 or something because she saw the numbers in her dreams. Like, she saw 4 numbers or something. So it actually happens. So, like, if you dream of numbers, write it down. And more than once. Oh, actually, back when I was like 13 years old, I had a dream because I always walk by a lottery stand when I walk through the subway station. And one night I dream of the numbers. And next day I walk through, it actually matches. But I was like too stupid to buy. Well, first of all, I wasn't carrying any cash. And B, I thought to myself, I can't buy lottery tickets until I'm 14 or something. But yeah, I was stupid. But then I thought, okay, yeah, the next time I dream of those numbers, I'll go buy a lottery ticket. But that never happened. So as soon as you dream of those numbers, run to your lottery office and see what you can make of it. But yeah, so like it happens, and it happens quite often that people dream of the lottery, dream of numbers, and then that matches the lottery. After you said, I mark down the number every time I saw in my dreams. That's great. I know this will be a jackpot one day. That's great. And I will share with you the end. Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you. And the numbers, they're not just lottery numbers, right? Like, maybe those numbers mean some other things, Like I said before, the way that you think your wishes will come true is probably not the way it will come true. But throughout your path, there will be like all kinds of hints and clues, and you have to put it together. It's just not the way you think it would happen. There was this time, I think I've shared this story before too, at the lottery station. It was like $1 billion draw or something. And there was this really negative lady in the gas station. And she was, I'm buying, but I will never win, blah, blah, blah. And I said to her, what if you buy this lottery ticket and you didn't win, but in 3 weeks you get a promotion and you make $20,000 more in your career? Like, she doesn't understand it, but like that's the point, right? Like, what if you like you set up such a chain of event that you don't know? So maybe your intention and your action of buying the lottery ticket set off a chain of intentions and butterfly effect that brings you another $5,000 in a month through different channels. Are you going to be happy with that? I'll be happy with that. Yeah, our favorite topic, winning the lottery. Winning the lottery, that's like winning the Nobel Prize in good luck. That's my way of putting it. I may never win the lottery, but the effort I spend in practicing rituals and divination and the weird tools that I make to help me hit the jackpot, those are the gold of the lottery. It's kind of like alchemy, right? Turning lead into gold. At the time, they didn't know it was impossible. But through alchemy, the impossible thing of turning lead into the gold, we have developed chemistry, and through chemistry, we have made a lot more than just gold. Like a lot more money than just gold, a lot more wealth than just gold, a lot more magic than just gold, right? Dexy Wilma said, I bought 5 tickets for lottery, which is tonight. Oh, yeah? Is it for Euro Millions? Hey, Powerball is coming to Europe, Dexy Wilmer. So they're talking about like a worldwide lottery that American, Europe, Canada is going to have like one big draw, and someone is going to win like $10 billion. FGFG said, I'll be very happy even if I win the second prize. Come to think how much time you may need to work to earn that money. Yes. I'll be happy with any winnings. It's for Dutch National Lottery. That's great, Dixie Wimmer. And also, not to make light of it, but like, unless it is like $1 billion jackpot, it's not really that much money. Like, if you're good at business, you can probably make that in a few years. Like, for like, let's just say $1 million jackpot, that's like non-Powerball and Mega Million jackpots too. Like, there are a lot of jackpots like state lotteries and casino lotteries. Those payouts after tax to be about $1 million or $500,000 or 2 or 5 million. Nothing to laugh at, but most people could make that in their lifetime, or if they're a good trader, or if they work hard to become a CEO in 5 to 10 years. A lot of people make $1 million a year. So like, if winning the lottery inspire you, opens a path for you to become a CEO or like a small medium company, you are good. And a lot of American lawsuits will result in a few $1 million payout too. So it's not just you. Don't be hyper focused on the lottery, but like, if it is about spending $2, then spend the effing $2 to just get the lottery ticket. Don't be cheap, okay? Bacchus said, Dion, you and everyone here could win the lottery. You never know if it is possible. Yes, thank you. And thank you for your blessing, Bacchus. Everybody give her a round of applause. Bacchus has been very supportive to our endeavors. Dexy Wilmer said, interesting that Powerball comes to Europe. Yes, you should look it up. It's true fact. Dexy Wilmer said true. Dexy Wilmer said, I still believe in a spirit that gave me the idea for an app. Yes, that's great. Still working on it. Yes, you never know. Or on the path to that, you discover something else. So, well, we've been online for 3 hours and 20 minutes. So we're edging closer to a live streamer. But unless somebody have other questions, if the discussion is good, we will keep it going. But let's set a clock for about 5 minutes. If you have any last questions or something to share, please do so. Or forever hold your peace until next week, hopefully. So this is great. We have good discussion beforehand, before the hypnosis, and we have good discussion after the hypnosis. So this is turning out to be a great live stream. It's been productive for me, and people who are not in our group will get a lot out of it, and people in our group also get a lot out of it. So thank you for everybody for being here and for sharing. I couldn't have done this without you. And collect some stories to share the next time we have a live stream. FGFG said thank you at Dark Kisses. FGFG said thank you, Dion. Oh, thank you, FGFG. You have been very supportive since the beginning. Danny said, praising Boone for facilitating this connection. Yes, praise all the spirits for bringing us together. The spirit do everything for a reason. Dark Kisses said, I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday and have a week of success and blessings. Oh, thank you, Dark Kisses. And Danny said, and of course, for your effort. Oh, thank you, Danny. Thank you for finding me. And thank you for being here. FGFG sent a heart. Okay, so let's end this on a high note. The time is 1:37. We've been online for 3 hours and 22 minutes. Thank you for everybody for being here. And Fiat Magick, let magic be done. Dark Kisses said, Hail Lucifer, hail Hecate, hail Hilif. Hail, thank you, Hanaya and Sandalphon. Thank you, Dark Kisses. Thank you for sharing your side of the story. I know it's not easy sharing something very personal, but thank you for sharing. And thank you, everybody, for your support and supporting each other. I'll see you guys next week. Ending the stream right now.